Welcome back, it's Dr. Teague again with my collaboration with KiKi. So today's topic might be a little bit difficult for some, and personally it is something actually even difficult to talk about. So what I'm going to address today is not blood pressure, not something a quick tablet can fix. It's really something that's affecting our population as a whole, and that's not just in Sri Lanka, that's globally. So as one factor is, as our population is getting older, people are living longer. And that's leading to a terrible condition called dementia. So, and as we keep living, people are living longer with that, and families really are having to suffer at the hands of this terrible, terrible illness. The second thing I'm going to talk a little bit about is, again, something that is difficult for some, and that's depression. And we're seeing a rise in the people around us who are diagnosed with depression. Now, is that because it's getting worse and it's becoming more prevalent, or as we as a society and we as a medical community are accepting of this as a big issue, and it's becoming easier to diagnose and easier to deal with? It's really hard to say which of the two that is. But what we do know is it's a big problem, and it's a big strain on families, and it's a big strain on individuals as well. So the first topic, like I said, is dementia. So I'm not going to get into the different types. We've all heard the names Alzheimer's dementia or vascular dementia. Or at the end of the day, what it really means is it's kind of like a thief in the night has come and robbed the person of who they are. And family members are dealt with somebody who is maybe not really aware of what's going on around them. They've either lost their memory or ability to recognize somebody, or are impulsive in their behavior, or short-tempered where they weren't before. What that is over the period of time, for whatever reason, every organ kind of fails, and that's the brain as well. As you get older, the brain starts to get smaller, and the connections aren't as strong as they were before. And as a result of it, you end up developing in some people, and there's a degree of family inheritance there, dementia. So what does that mean? Well, overarchingly, there isn't a cure for it. And the biggest thing to understand with it is that it's hard from a family perspective, and it's extremely straining. And the way I kind of advise my patients and my families to kind of go and address it is to think about the person of who they are. Now, if that kind of a person who enjoyed music, who enjoyed food, who enjoyed watching the birds, kind of institute that into their life, but institute it into a regular schedule, and have things that are so good timing. Wake up at 6 o'clock, go have their breakfast, see the birds, or do what they're used to, or listen to music. Having that routine in place kind of helps somebody deal with the stresses of their life, and dementia unfortunately makes it harder to deal with the stresses of your daily life. So instituting something that's regular, that's predictable, is helpful. Limiting the amount of new exposures. So I wouldn't take them off on an adventure that they've never been on, because that'll stress them a bit more. And because of that, they won't be able to adapt to their environment, and typically end up getting very frustrated very quickly. And that's really distressing to themselves and also to their family members. The other thing is, for example, is depression. So the way I kind of explain with depression is, if anybody has ever tried to walk when they're drunk, or walk when they've been altered for some reason, even in your head you're like, I can do this. I've done this before. I have to go left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. That's all that needs to happen for me to walk. But what you're thinking up here and what's happening down here is kind of off. And that's the same thing in depression. So people who suffer from this illness, they in their head say, right, I understand. I need to get out of bed. I need to shower. I need to go to work. I need to interact with my family. And then they just can't. And the simplest things become the most difficult things. And the difficulty is you're trying to fight through an illness when everything within the head is all haywired. And sometimes it's important to kind of reset everything. So medications and depression are important because it kind of allows you the time to like sober up, for the mind to kind of readjust, to go back to a normal process of thinking that then it can act on. And something like in the dementia is important is a schedule. Sometimes, like I said, the smallest things are the hardest things. So you have to have a schedule. Right, I'm gonna get up at 6 o'clock. I'm gonna take the dog for a walk. Right, I've gotten that. That's a victory. I've woken up today. I've taken the dog for a walk today. I've had a shower today. I've said something nice to my family member. And you're building that confidence as you develop and as things try to sort them out. It's not an easy fix. By no means, shape, or form are you gonna wake up one day, and say, my depression's gone. I'm perfect. You're gonna have bad days, you're gonna have great days. But it's a process that you and your doctor and your family and the people that love you are working together to try to build you towards. It's a struggle and it's hard, but you have to understand that things are important and you're important and what you want to do with your life is important. So you have to get there by doing the simple things. If you can't accomplish large things, that's fine. Build your confidence by accomplishing small things, and then build yourself up to a place that you feel comfortable then taking the next step. It's impossible, it's hard, but you can do it. And you can do it if you keep backing yourself and keep moving forward. Again, Dr. Teague with KiKi. We'll see you next time.